new rock and roll, isn't it? Well, that's what the think pieces in newspapers and on the internet keep telling us, so it must be true. This means that people who are not at all funny think they can muck about in the shallow end of comedy and use it for corporate gain. Comedy's long been used for advertising, with very mixed results. Some of them stole classics, but for every Harry Enfield shouting, "Armadillos!" there's a Flo and Joan receiving death threats for their nationwide adverts. That's not a joke, by the way. That actually happened. Shame on you, Internet. The issue here is that comedy's rather subjective, isn't it? If you doubt that, then Mrs. Brown's Boys won another award recently. Now, I'm not going to get into an elitism argument. I'm glad that people like that programme. I'm pleased that it makes people happy, but that doesn't mean it should win awards. Awards are meant to be things that break new ground, excel in their field. All I can think now is Cowsies and excel in a field is in my head. And you know, it could be a funny advert, but it'd be a hard sell. A hard sell. Spreadsheet jokes. You didn't see that coming, did you? No. What I'm more concerned about is the jokey bonhomie that many brands are now trying, particularly a lot of newer companies. The problem is that they probably did it when they were small, and it worked with their hardcore customers. Look, I can't do air quotes, all right? I just can't. As the company gets bigger, they are inevitably going to find customers who like their products but find their jokes a bit off kilter. This is prevalent in healthy foods. For example, vegan sausages that always have words like banging bangers on them and nuts that say, "We're nuts about nuts." People who make things like that up should probably be shot. I'm harsh, but fair. Innocent Smoothies. Once upon a time they were a small company making bottles of fruit-based drinks for a fairly trendy audience. But now they're a honking great monolith that's part of the Coca-Cola Corporation. Now, some people say that corporations are evil. I don't necessarily agree. Corporations aren't necessarily evil, they're just more like a shark. They are startlingly good at what they're designed to do, and very little else. Certainly don't have any empathy. The only way you'll get a corporation to stop doing something is to make it hard for them to make money from it anymore. Imagine asking a shark for the time. I mean, they don't even have wrists for watches. That's a stupid idea. Why did you bring it up? You see, a small company can change direction really quickly if something doesn't work, as they only make things in small numbers. But bigger businesses have to make products months in advance. So for them to change direction, it's like trying to turn a supertanker in heavy weather. It takes a long time, a lot of work, and probably copious amounts of vomit. I was forced to listen to a new radio station the other day. Well, it was new to me anyway, and it was called Union Jack Radio. They played requests of British-only music and play out excerpts of only British comedy, which is Brexit as fuck, by the way. This was on a DAB radio in a car that I was a passenger in. They used the cycling text to put up hilarious jokes. There I am, not using air quotes again. And most of them were truly painful. Worse still is it because there's only a small amount of bandwidth. They circle round really quickly. So very soon you start seeing things like "insert funny joke here" and "thank you for twiddling with your knobs and finding us. My funny bone may explode into its constituent parts." Can't show you my funny bone on the internet these days, not since the injunction. Thing is, you repeat a joke too often, and what you end up with is a dead joke, or a word salad. If you doubt this, go and find those Empower stand-up adverts from a few years ago. There's a reason there aren't cover versions of stand-up routines, unless you go to a few open mic nights anyway. If you do, you'll see somebody doing a bad version of a stand-up routine that's quite famous. Usually really badly, but they're made to work as they're funny, so they're obviously going to be the next Jason Manford. Spoilers, this does not generally happen. The issues here are even more evident if you look at the fast-paced world of Twitter. Companies really pretty much have to be a presence on there these days, and they have a few choices. They can try being friendly and helpful and action requests and inquiries from customers. They can just set up a Twitter account and not use it to avoid cyber squatting, as it used to be called, which does sound like having a poo in the corner of Electronics Boutique. I improvised that line, can you tell? The advantage of this method is it at least means nobody else can use your company name. Another option is have a laugh and a joke with your customers. And this is where it gets a bit dicey, in a diced carrot in soup kind of a way. That's been accidentally spilt into custard, which is then set on fire, put in a wicker basket, and put in a room full of gas. Some time ago, Thameslink, who are a British train company, made a tweet about their service being not very good and comparing it to Poundland's cooking chocolate. Now, if you know anything at all about British train companies, you'll know they are almost all unremittingly shit. And expensive. Which is not really an optimal combination, is it? I mean, you can sort of put up a blind spot if the company you're dealing with is cheap or is giving you a very good service. But if it's expensive and the service is crap, well, people are going to think they're ripped off, aren't they? Because they are being. Poundland, on the other hand, is an amazing shop. It's a successful bargain shop. No, it really is. It's great. It's a bit like shopping inside somebody else's fever dreams. It's fantastic. Any shop that can sell shampoo, foreign sweets and toilet rolls with a logo printed on every sheet is crazy and the kind of future Britain needs. Anyway, where was I before I went off on that peculiar thing about Poundland? Oh yeah, Poundland were made aware of this tweet, and they did what they should do. They pointed at the flaws in Thameslink in a jokey way, told us some of their stuff did today that was just way above beyond the Call of Duty, finally signed off by saying that would like Thameslink to delete the tweet if, and this is a quote, "you don't want to hear from our extremely twitchy legal team." The tweet has been deleted, 1-0 to Poundland, I believe. A place that I used to work at many years ago had a canteen, and in the canteen there was a new bit that was designed just for baked potatoes. Now I like baked potatoes. You can have them with chili and tuna and cheese, or whatever you like. It's great. They called this part of the canteen jackets, no ties. Fuck off. Fuck right off. Keep fucking off. Once you're fucked off, come back again. And then fuck off again, falling down the stairs. Now, obviously, I can't say that and mean that. It wouldn't be correct of me. But if the person did fall down some stairs, video evidence is a must. Some of you watching this may have had a guffaw or a chuckle. And who doesn't like a guffaw or a chuckle? Terrorists, that's who. Others will be wondering what's going on, and that's the kind of viewer I like. Pliable. You see, making comedy isn't for everybody. Now, this video is case in point. You can just ignore it if you don't like it, or you could, of course, send me the abuse and death threats on the internet, which is de rigueur these days. But in an ephemeral medium like this, what impact does you not finding this funny have on your day? On balance, very little. Stick that joke on an advert that's always on the TV, advertising hoardings, radio, internet and the sides of buses, and suddenly that joke seems more grating than Piers Morgan in a grater factory squirting with lemon juice and wearing a lycra thong. So, by all means, businesses do try and be humorous, but be prepared that sometimes you'll get it wrong. Anyone who is involved in comedy accept that sometimes things just don't work the way you'd hoped. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Lick your own belly button. Dance a jig. I don't know. Whatever you want. I'm not your boss. Put in a whisker basket. Whisker basket? Put in a whisker back.